We have us a series, ladies and gentlemen, in the Western Conference Finals, tied at two apiece, and it's going to be a fun finish to watch. And on the other side of the bracket, we have a series that may already be over, and a team getting to the finals for the first time since the 90s, which is insane. So we'll see what happens there. And also, the All NBA teams came out, and I have a problem with one person who was picked over another, and I'll give my opinion on that. This is the West Coast Mindset presented by the Recliner Media Network. I'm Alberto Lucero, and guys, remember to subscribe, rate, review, leave some comments, and I'll connect with you guys. And it's gonna be fun. And let's get to it right now. Beginning with the route from last night, the Thunder were up 2-1, hoping to get a 3-1 lead in San Antonio in Game 4, but they got absolutely routed in this game against the Spurs. The Spurs went on to win 103-82 and tie the series up. And it was utter domination from the Spurs. Victor Wembanyama was outstanding. 33 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks. He was just an absolute monster on both ends. Not as much as he was in game one, because that was a historic performance, but he was absolutely outstanding in this game as well and was able to control the entire game. And he was just great, man. Had a half court buzzer beater to end the first half. And for a guy that size at 7'5", man, it's just every time he does it, I'm just in awe. My jaw just drops, and I'm like, how is he doing this at this size with this kind of skill level, with that kind of speed? It's just absolutely amazing. And of course, he had that game tying three in the final minute in game one. So he's shown that he can do it in multiple occasions, and he's not afraid of the moment, and he's ready to take that big shot, and he's got guts, man. He can go out there and do his thing, and he's not afraid of the bright lights, and he came through once again in this game, and the Spurs were ready to play, man. They were playing with desperation. They knew that they could not go down 3-1 going back to OKC. They were riding off of the crowd. The crowd was anxious. They wanted them to get a win on their home court in the series, and they did just that. Especially because I thought that going into Game 3, they were going to go out there and put their foot on the Thunder's necks and get control of the series in that game. And they were doing it in the first quarter of that game, but then they let their foot off the gas pedal. The Thunder got back in the game, and ever since then, the Thunder were able to dominate after that, and the Spurs were not ready to contribute. But in this game, it was the complete opposite. The Spurs stepped on their neck from the start and never let their foot off the gas pedal. They were just dominating. They were shut down on defense. The Thunder couldn't get anything going. They scored only 83 points, 33% from the field, 6 for 33 from 3-point range, and they just could not get anything going. SGA had 19 points, was 6 for 15 from the field. He could not get a rhythm going, and he was struggling to get open shots all night. And they were doubling him, bringing the pressure, being physical with him, and he was not able to get going the entire time. So credit to Mitch Johnson, the coaching staff, for having a defensive adjustment on him, and he just could not get going. And Chet Holmgren, only 10 points, and that's not going to be enough, man. Chet Holmgren has to step up. He's been questioned all series on defense, on offense, and especially now with Jalen Williams being out for the rest of the series, possibly with the hamstring injury, and also AJ Mitchell being out with injury as well for the Thunder on their bench, who's been a really good player in these playoffs at the guard position. He was also out in this game, and yeah, there was a lot of pressure for Chet Holmgren to go out there and do his best offensively to help out SGA, and he did not do that. 10 points, it's not enough. Wemby has been dominating him on defense, and I thought after game two, where Isaiah Hartenstein stepped up and he was able to defend Wemby just good enough and be physical to him. Ever since then, man, credit to Wemby. He's been able to adjust, and he's played Isaiah Hartenstein off the court. Isaiah Hartenstein hasn't played over 20 minutes the last couple of games. And yeah, man, it's all up to Chet Holmgren, and he has not been able to deliver the call. And Wemby has just been eating his lunch, and it's been awesome to see. but bad to see if you're a Thunder fan. So you got to hope, Thunder fans, that Chet Holmgren has some heart, and he can regroup, and he can go up against Wemby, because that's the only way they can stop him. Because yeah, it worked out one game with Hartenstein where he was physical with him, but then after that, yeah, Wemby made that adjustment, and he has not been able to defend him the same the last couple of games. So it's all up to Chet Holmgren, and we have to see what Mark Dagnall and the coaching staff does to make an adjustment against Wemby, because now he's confident again. And going into Game 5, you got to be ready to go at home in OKC. And Wemby obviously had a great performance, but the other guys were able to chip in. I want to say they had the greatest scoring numbers, but they were able to chip away in other ways and help him out. And it was more of a team spread offense in this game, and it was a lot better to watch, man. The ball was moving, guys were getting open shots, and they were able to do their thing. And Stephon Castle had 13 points, 6 assists, but the one key thing, one turnover, and that's a very very good sign if you're a Spurs fan, because the last couple of games he was turning the ball over at a huge rate, because he had to be the point guard because De'Aaron Fox was not able to play in the first 2 games, and he had to be the primary point guard. Also because Dylan Harper also got hurt at the end of Game 2, and he's not 100% himself. So the Stephon Castle had to be more of the playmaker, and yeah, it was turnover city for that game, man. He was turning the ball over left and right. But now De'Aaron Fox came back in Game 3, and he's been able to stay on the court, although he's not 100% himself. You can tell at times that with that ankle injury, it's really bothering him, and he looks like he's in a lot of pain. But credit to him, man. He has a high pain tolerance, and he's going out there and he's still playing at a pretty good level. So all the respect in the world to De'Aaron Fox. But going back to Stephon Castle, now with De'Aaron Fox now as the primary point guard, and he has more of the ball handling duties, and he's running the offense. Stephon Castle can play more free as the shooting guard, and yeah, he's playing very good defensively. He's showing off his athleticism as the 2 guard, and yeah, man, he's playing a lot more efficient now that he doesn't have to take all the pressure of being the playmaker at the guard position. And yeah, De'Aaron Fox came back in Game 3. Was a little rusty in Game 3. Took him some time to get going, but he was a lot more efficient in Game 4. 13 points as well, 5 assists, and he was able to keep that ball moving. And yeah, it was much more of a professional looking offense. And yeah, it wasn't just all ISO ball. There was some plays ran, and yeah, it was just a beautiful looking offense. And that's a great sign if you're a Spurs fan. So credit to him. And also Devin Vassell, he's been very good in the series. He also contributed with 13 points himself. And yeah, it was all 13. Everybody just had their 13 points, and that was enough, man. Everybody was able to spread the sugar and get involved. And yeah, man, this offense looked a lot better and looked a lot more efficient in this game. And on the defensive end, everybody was able to contribute, and everybody was able to get all up in the Thunder. And it was a tough night for the Thunder offense. And yeah, going into Game 5, man, you gotta hope that if you're a Thunder fan, you gotta hope that they can make an adjustment and get better results offensively, because SGA can't do it all by himself. He's trying. I get it. He's the back-to-back MVP, and he's a scoring machine. But he needs help, man. As I said with Chet Holmgren, 10 points. That's not enough. Alex Caruso was playing well the first 3 games. He was pretty poor in this game. Jared McCain has been pretty good. He was a little quiet in this game as well. And without AJ Mitchell, we'll see if he can come back in Game 5. It's possible he won't play, but we'll see if he could be possibly a game-time decision. But if I was to predict, I don't think he'll play, because he was in street clothes and he did not look like he was ready to go for possibly going to Game 5. And we know Jalen Williams is not going to play because, yeah, he has aggravated that hamstring injury many times, and I doubt he comes back in this series. So I think he's going to be gone. And yeah, man, the Thunder got to find ways to get offense, because if they keep playing the way they played last night, it could be over in 6 games, because the Spurs are confident again, and they already won 1 game in Oklahoma City in Game 1, so they know how to win on the road in that environment, and they're not scared of the moment. and they look ready to go going into Game 5. So Mark Dagnall and the coaches there have to do a better job of running some better offensive plays and get some more motion in that offense because they're very stagnant. It was a lot of SGA ISO ball and just kicking out the shooters and just shooting threes. But when their threes aren't falling, man, it could be a pretty ugly looking offense, and it was a very ugly looking offense in Game 4. So, so they got to get more motion in the offense, have more creativity, and keep the Spurs guessing because when it's just all half court, just iso ball, Victor Wembanyama and those physical defenders in San Antonio are going to get all over you, and that was the case in Game 4. So they're going to be at home. The crowd is going to be restless. They're going to be rooting them on and try to drag them into a win at home in Game 5 to possibly get a 3-2 lead, going back to San Antonio for Game 6. And yeah, man, this is going to be a very interesting game. Game 5, I think, will be the deciding game in the series because whoever gets the momentum with the lead in the series, I think they're going to take control. And I get it. The Thunder are the reigning champion, and they have a lot of backbone. And they've shown many times that they can come back and they can regroup after a tough loss. But so many things are going against them right now. The health and just the confidence of the Spurs right now. They're hungry. They're ready to go. They got a guy in Victor Wembanyama who looks ready to take the next step and become the best player in the league. And he wants it. And he's a competitor. And he wants to show people that yeah, he is the best player in the league. And in his third year, man, get to the finals and possibly win a championship. And he'll have a real case to possibly become one of the best players in the NBA history for years to come at the end of his career. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. So the Thunder got to bounce back, and this is going to be fun to watch. So I still have the Spurs in 7. I'm not gonna change my pick. Spurs in 7 for me, but if the Thunder can't win Game 5, then I don't know if they can go back to San Antonio and get another win. So we'll see how it goes. It's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. Keep an eye on the series, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun finish. So enjoy the series, guys. So moving on to another series that possibly is already over. Yeah, it looks over to me, man. The Knicks are up 3-0 against the Cavaliers going into Game 4 in Cleveland. And yeah, man, the Knicks just look primed to get to the finals. The Cavaliers have shot themselves in the foot so many times in this series. Kenny Atkinson, I'm really questioning his coaching attribute in this series, man, because he has made so many mistakes when it comes to James Harden being cooked on offense or on defense, and he hasn't made an adjustment to get him off the ball and have somebody else defend Jalen Brunson. The offense is very stagnant. It's a lot of James Harden iso ball as well, and Donovan Mitchell gets left out of the picture. And Evan Mobley and Jared Allen have been up and down as well. And defensively, this is the one that's shocking me the most, man. I thought the Cavaliers were a lot better defensively than this, but the Knicks have been all over them, man. Jalen Brunson has had his way in this series, 29 points per game, and also 8 assists, and that's a big one. So he's not just out there playing outside ball; he's sharing the ball, and everyone's getting involved, man. Whether if it's Landry Shamet, whether if it's Karl-Anthony Towns, whether if it's Miles Deuce McBride, OG Anunoby, everyone is getting involved. Mikal Bridges has been very good as well, and yeah, man, the Knicks have fully taken advantage of them, and that was one thing I said after that tough choke job in Game 1. I said I don't know how the Cavaliers are going to be able to bounce back after that tough loss because man, you blew a 22-point lead in 7 minutes, man. I don't know how you can swallow that and wake up and get going in the next game. And it showed, man, because although they played pretty well in that first half, in the second game, but then they ran out of gas, and the Knicks started making shots, and it was all she wrote from there. And then going into Cleveland for Game 3, the Cavs just were not connected. They were all out of sorts. They were getting dominated on the defensive end. The Knicks were scoring all over them. And yeah, man, they were able to hang in, be down 6 points at the half, and I thought possibly they can play with some desperation and get back in the game in the second half. But after that, man, the Knicks continued to keep their foot on that gas pedal, and they dominated the Cavaliers after that. And yeah, man, I just don't think the Cavs can get a win this series. I was hoping it was gonna be a 6 game series, but it looks like a sweep to me. I don't think this is gonna go any longer. Hopefully, I'm wrong. Hopefully, the Cavs can get a win for some pride and show that they can at least show the Knicks that they can compete for one game and scare them a little bit. But after the way they've played in these last 3 games, I just think that secretly in their heads, the Cavaliers just want to end it and just go into the offseason and regroup. And it's a bad look for Kenny Atkinson. It's a bad look for Donovan Mitchell because he's supposed to be the captain of the ship, and he's been up and down the series. Although he's been averaging 26 points, but there's been times where people have questioned if he wants the ball and he wants to dominate and he wants to will his team to a victory. It's been more of him scoring, James Harden scoring, and a couple of guys off the bench. But people are saying, "Hey, Donovan Mitchell, get the ball, bro, and get to work and score 30 plus points and show some fight and will your team to a win." But he's been more of just a complimentary player when it comes to scoring the ball. And yeah, it just doesn't look good for him. And for Kenny Atkinson, man, he has not been good. Has not been able to make adjustments. I already brought up the James Harden problem on defense and offense. Their offense has not been fluid. They're checking up a bunch of threes, not making threes. They're not getting Evan Mobley involved, and just overall, man, the Cavs are in bad shape, and it's gonna be a lot of questions going into this offseason. Will they trade Evan Mobley? Will they trade Jarrett Allen? Because a lot of people have questioned last couple of years if it's time to break up the Twin Towers in the front court. So we'll see if that happens. Does Donovan Mitchell still want to be there? Do they want to bring back James Harden? Because James Harden has showed in this series that he has been a bit of a liability. And do they want to continue with that? We'll see. It's going to be a lot of questions going on in Cleveland. And hell, if LeBron wants out of LA, maybe will LeBron come back to Cleveland and end his career? That's another storyline. So a lot of things are going to come out of Cleveland in this offseason if indeed it is over after Game 4. So yeah, Cavs fans, hang in there, man. You guys have a lot of questions and a lot of things to fix. And if it indeed is over in a sweep, then yeah, you got to start to become GM and be like, hey, my team needs this, my team needs that, and this roster needs to be fixed because the way it is right now, it's getting dominated, and it just doesn't have enough to win a championship. So we'll see if the Cavs have some fight and possibly win Game 4. But as I said, I think it's going to be a wrap. And yeah, the Knicks are 1 win away from the finals, and that'll be pretty impressive for the first time since 1999 that they'll be in the finals and possibly play the Spurs because that was last time they were in the finals. Last time they played the Spurs in the finals was 1999. So in 2026, it could be the same outcome: Spurs, Knicks in the finals, and we'll see if the Knicks can get revenge because the Spurs won that series in 1999. So we'll see how that goes. But it's going to be fun to watch. Enjoy the conference finals, guys, and we'll see what the NBA Finals matchup is in about a week. So be excited and keep up with that. And now let's close it out with the All NBA teams being announced. And a bit of controversy, in my opinion, with one guy. I'll get to it after I name the teams, and I think there has to be a change. So I'll get to it right now. So first team All NBA: Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, Victor Wembanyama, Nikola Jokic, and Cade Cunningham. Pretty good team, but there's one guy who I think was missing, and I'll get to it in a little bit. Second team: Jaylen Brown, Jalen Brunson, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, and Donovan Mitchell. Pretty good team there. I like that team. Although one guy should be switched, and I'll get to it, as I said. Bear with me, guys. And then third team. I like this team on the third team: Tyrese Maxey, Jamal Murray, Jalen Johnson, Chet Holmgren, and Jalen Duren. And this is a big one for Jalen Duren because he is now eligible to get a contract extension now because he was able to make it onto the third team. And the way that he played in the playoffs this year, it was not a good sign. So if you're a Pistons fan, this is going to be interesting. Do you want Jalen Duren back on a max extension? Or will they figure out a way to have a more team-friendly deal? We'll see. It's all up to Jalen Duren if indeed wants the bag, or he wants to regroup and show the team that he'll come back on a cheaper deal and show that he could be a better player in the playoffs. So keep an eye on that, Pistons fans. But now to the controversy that I think needs to be fixed. I think Jaylen Brown should be on the first team over Cade Cunningham. And I love Cade. He had a great year. I totally respect this game, and he was in the top 5 in MVP in my opinion, and he should have been higher in my opinion. But Jaylen Brown had the better season, I think, because especially with Jason Tatum being out most of the season, I did not think the Celtics were going to be second place in the Eastern Conference, and they traded away a lot of their veterans, Kristaps Porzingis, Andrew Holiday, and for Jaylen Brown to get that team into second in the Eastern Conference was very impressive. And he had a career high in scoring, career highs all over the board, and he was a menace on defense. And he was one of the best two-way players in the league, up there with Victor Wembanyama, up there with a lot of guys that who are known for being offense and defensive guys. And he had a great year, and I think he should have been on first team. And he's more of a small forward too, because I get it now. All NBA is positionless, and you can put 3 centers, you can put 3 guards, but Jaylen Brown is an actual legit small forward because he plays mostly shooting guard, but he can slide into small forward and play some small forward because he's a tall 6'6", and he's very physical and he's strong, and I think he had a great year. And also Cade Cunningham, I get it. He was given the mulligan at the end of the season because he didn't make the required 65 games. But then they were like, hey, he missed a couple of games because he had that lung injury, and it wasn't his fault that he was hurt. He didn't manage, so Adam Silver gave him that pass, and he was able to be eligible for the All NBA team. But I did not think he was going to get first team. I thought at the least he was going to get second team All NBA. But for him to get first team, it's a little controversial. I get it. He had a great year. I have fully respect for him, and he definitely has the ability to be a first team All NBA player for years to come. But I just don't think this year was the year for him. I get it. He got the Pistons to first place in the Eastern Conference, but when he had that lung injury, I thought they were going to drop off, and the Celtics were going to get first place in that conference. But Danis Jenkins and Jalen Duren picked it up, and they kept things afloat. So that kind of showed that it was more of the Pistons overall, not just Cade. That was the reason why they were able to get first place in the East. So that kind of hurt Cade, in my opinion. So for him to get first team All NBA off of that, that's interesting. So Pistons fans, go ahead and disagree with me. If you want to leave a comment in there and argue with me, go for it. I'm all in for it. But yeah, I think Jaylen Brown deserves first team All NBA, in my opinion. Add another thing. Kevin Durant. This is an interesting one. I get he had a really good year in Houston, and the Rockets were able to regroup and get fourth. Fourth place in the Western Conference. No, fifth place. Sorry, fifth place in the Western Conference, and regroup. But it was a bit of an uneven season, especially because the year before the Rockets were a top 2 seed in the West. They were second place to the Thunder without Kevin Durant when it was Alperen Şengün, Jalen Green, and Fred VanVleet and Amin Thompson. And I thought when they bring in Kevin Durant to plug into that team, they were going to get even better and be a legit contender in the West. But it was a very uneven season for them. I get it. Kevin Durant had good numbers, but I think he should be third team. But I'm okay with second team. I get it. He's still a really good player. But yeah, I think third team would have been better. But second team's okay. I don't mind it. But other than that, I like the teams. I think they got the rest of it right. Luka Doncic had a great year, of course, and and you already know me being a Lakers fan. I was broken when he couldn't play in the playoffs because he was having an MVP caliber season himself. But for him to get first team is great. I was happy about that. SGA, guys, the back-to-back MVP. He deserves to be first team of course, and he's on the team. Victor Wembanyama is an outstanding player, and as I said many times, he's got next, and he looks ready to become the best player in the league. He made first team. Nikola Jokic is Nikola Jokic. The dude is just a stat stuffer, and he just dominates the game as a center, leading the league in assists, leading the league in rebounds, and the dude is just an absolute monster. And yeah, man, I like the way the teams came out, except for the Kate Cunningham, Jalen Brunson situation. But other than that, man, great job of the voters, and it was a fun season to see these players play. And congratulations to all those guys for getting that award. And yeah, good for them. So with that, guys, I'm signing out. This was the West Coast Mindset presented by the Recliner Media Network, and I will see you guys next week. Enjoy the conference finals. We'll see who will play in the big game in the NBA Finals. See you later.